about this connection. They told themselves it was nothing serious. They tried to keep their thoughts focused on other things. They tried to move through their day normally. But the truth is, your presence keeps returning to their mind. Now, I'm seeing someone here sitting during a quiet moment, maybe late at night, maybe during a pause in their day, and suddenly their thoughts wander, and somehow they end up thinking about you again, not because they plan to, but because their mind keeps circling back to the same person, back to the same energy, back to you. The first card appearing here is the Devil. Now, before anyone assumes something negative, let's slow down and understand the energy in love readings. The Devil very often represents powerful attraction, magnetic pull, the kind of fascination that feels difficult to ignore. Imagine someone trying to focus on their routine work, messages, daily responsibilities. And suddenly, something small reminds them of you. Maybe it's a phrase that sounds like something you once said. Maybe it's a laugh that reminds them of yours. Maybe it's simply a random thought that appears for no clear reason. And once that thought appears, it stays. The Devil represents that moment when someone realizes they are deeply drawn toward another person. Not just briefly interested, drawn. The next card appearing here is the Eight of Swords. This card represents someone becoming aware of how often their mind returns to the same person. Picture someone lying in bed at night. The lights are off, the room is quiet, and suddenly their mind starts replaying memories, a conversation you shared. A moment where you made them laugh, a small detail about you that they didn't think would matter, but now it does. The Eight of Swords suggests that this person may even surprise themselves because they realize something. They cannot easily stop thinking about you, and the more they try to ignore the thought, the more it returns. The next card appearing here is the Knight of Wands. This is where the energy becomes even stronger. Because the Knight of Wands represents excitement, passion, desire, this person may feel extremely attracted to you, your personality, your confidence, the way you carry yourself. Something about your energy feels exciting to them, almost like meeting someone who suddenly makes everything feel more interesting. The Knight of Wands often appears when someone feels energized by the thought of another person. Your presence may awaken a spark inside them, and that spark is not fading. If anything, it is growing. The next card appearing here is the Moon. Now, this card tells us that some of these emotions may still be hidden, not because they don't exist, but because the person experiencing them may still be trying to understand them. Sometimes when someone feels something powerful, they pause, they observe. They reflect quietly. The Moon suggests that this person may have spent time thinking about why their thoughts keep returning to you. Because sometimes attraction is simple, but what they are feeling may be deeper than that. And slowly, they may be realizing something surprising. You matter to them more than they expected. The next card appearing here is the Lovers. This is a very important card in this reading because the Lovers represents meaningful connection, not casual interest, not temporary fascination, meaning. When this card appears, it often shows the moment someone realizes that the bond they feel with another person carries emotional significance. This person may look at you and feel something different, something stronger than the connections they usually experience. And when the Lovers appears alongside the Devil, it can suggest a connection that feels almost impossible to ignore. The kind of connection that stays in someone's heart. The final card appearing in this part is the King of Cups. This card represents deep emotional feeling. The King of Cups is someone who cares very deeply, even if they do not always reveal everything immediately, which means this person may be experiencing stronger emotions for you than they openly show. They may appear calm on the outside, they may act like everything is normal, but inside, your presence has awakened something very real, and that is why the message at the beginning of this reading matters so much. Mark my words, this person is not slowly forgetting the connection. They are not quietly walking away. If anything, their fascination with you is becoming stronger. Your energy has stayed in their mind. Your presence has stayed in their heart. And the more time passes, the more they may realize something simple. You are not someone they can easily replace. Now, something interesting begins appearing in the energy here. Because at first, this person may have believed that the feelings they had for you would pass. They may have told themselves it was simply attraction, a moment of curiosity, a temporary fascination, but time has been doing something unexpected instead of the feelings fading. they have been growing. The first card appearing here is the Six of Cups. This card represents memories, not just random memories, but the kind that return to someone's mind when they are alone with their thoughts. This person may find themselves remembering small moments involving you, a conversation that felt natural, something funny you said, the way the atmosphere changed when you were around. Sometimes the Six of Cups appears when someone realizes that the connection they shared with another person felt genuine, comfortable, easy, and when someone experiences that kind of emotional warmth, it tends to stay with them. The next card appearing here is the Page of Swords. This energy represents curiosity, observation. The Page of Swords is someone who keeps thinking about another person and often finds themselves wanting to know more. This person may be paying attention to you more than you realize. They may notice the small things, your mood, your reactions, the way you speak. Sometimes the Page of Swords appears when someone quietly watches from a distance, not in a negative way, but because they feel intrigued. They want to understand you better. The next card appearing here is the Knight of Cups. Now this is where emotions begin moving closer to the surface. Because the Knight of Cups represents someone who begins following their heart instead of keeping everything inside. This person may feel a growing desire to express something, not dramatically, not suddenly, but sincerely. The Knight of Cups often appears when someone begins imagining what it would be like to become closer to another person, to talk more, to spend time together, to explore what the connection might become. The next card appearing here is the Four of Pentacles. This card suggests that this person may be holding their feelings very tightly, not because they want to hide them forever, but because they may feel protective of the connection. Sometimes when someone feels something powerful, they become careful. They want to move slowly, they want to understand their emotions fully before revealing them. The Four of Pentacles suggests that this person values the connection more than they openly admit. And when someone values something deeply, they sometimes guard it quietly. The next card appearing here is the Star. This card brings a very beautiful energy, hope, renewal, emotional peace. The Star often appears when someone sees another person as a source of calm in their life. Your presence may feel comforting to them. Something about your energy may feel sincere, genuine, and uplifting. When they think about you, their thoughts may carry a sense of warmth. And that feeling can be powerful because when someone begins associating another person with peace and happiness, they naturally want that person close in their life. The final card appearing in this part is the Two of Cups. This card represents mutual connection, harmony between two people. It suggests that the bond between you and this person carries balance and emotional recognition. Sometimes when the Two of Cups appears, it shows that two people feel something meaningful for each other, even if those feelings have not been fully expressed yet. And that is the energy becoming clear here. This person may not be walking away from the connection. In fact, they may be realizing that what they feel for you is becoming more important with time. The memories stay with them. The curiosity grows stronger, and the thought of becoming closer to you may feel more appealing with each passing day. Which means the fascination we saw in the first part is slowly transforming into something deeper, something emotional, something sincere. And that may be the moment where this person begins wondering what would happen if they stopped holding back and finally allowed the connection to move forward. Now, the energy of this connection begins reaching a deeper point because what started as attraction, curiosity, and fascination is slowly turning into something that this person cannot easily ignore anymore. At first, they may have tried to keep their emotions under control. They may have told themselves to stay logical, to stay calm, to not read too much into the connection. But something inside them keeps pushing back against that idea. The first card appearing here is the Nine of Swords. This card represents someone thinking about something repeatedly, not necessarily in a negative way, but in a way that shows their mind is very active. This person may find themselves thinking about you at unexpected moments late at night during quiet parts of their day. Sometimes, when everything around them becomes still, your presence returns to their thoughts. They may replay conversations you had. They may wonder about things they didn't say. They may even imagine what future conversations with you might look like. The Nine of Swords often appears when someone realizes that their mind keeps returning to the same person again and again. And that realization can surprise them because they may begin asking themselves something very honest. Why am I thinking about them this much? The next card appearing here is the Ace of Wands. Now, this card brings a surge of energy. The Ace of Wands represents excitement, attraction, and inspiration. Your presence may spark something powerful inside this person. You may make them feel energized, motivated, curious. Sometimes the Ace of Wands appears when someone feels a strong desire to move closer to another person, not only emotionally, but physically as well. Your presence may awaken a kind of excitement that they have not felt in a long time. The next card appearing here is the Hierophant. This is where the energy becomes even more meaningful. Because the Hierophant represents commitment, values, and serious connection, this card often appears when someone begins to view a relationship in a more significant way. At first, they may have seen the connection as something interesting, but now they may be realizing that the bond with you could become something deeper, something stable, something meaningful. The Hierophant suggests that this person may respect you deeply. They may admire your character, your way of thinking, your presence, and sometimes admiration becomes the foundation for stronger emotional feelings. The next card appearing here is the Chariot. This card represents movement, determination. The Chariot appears when someone decides to move forward instead of staying still. This person may be reaching a moment where their curiosity about the connection becomes stronger than their hesitation. Instead of wondering what might happen, they may begin feeling the urge to actually find out. The Chariot suggests someone gaining the confidence to step closer to what they want. And what they may want is clarity about the connection with you. The next card appearing here is the Queen of Cups. This card represents emotional sensitivity, kindness, compassion. The Queen of Cups suggests that your emotional energy may feel very comforting to this person. They may feel understood around you, accepted, able to be themselves without pressure. And that feeling can create a very powerful bond, because when someone meets a person who makes them feel emotionally safe, they often hold on to that connection. The final card appearing in this part is the Wheel of Fortune. This card represents turning points, moments when the direction of a situation begins changing. Sometimes life moves quietly for a while, and then suddenly something shifts, a conversation happens, a realization appears, a moment arrives that changes the dynamic between two people. The Wheel of Fortune suggests that the connection between you and this person may be entering that kind of moment. Because their thoughts about you are not slowing down. If anything, they are becoming stronger. Their curiosity is growing, their attraction is becoming clearer, and slowly they may be realizing something important. You are not someone they want to lose, which means the next step in this story may not be about whether they care. That part is already becoming clear. The real question now is this: when will they decide to show you how strongly they feel? Now, something shifts again in the energy here. The first card appearing here is the Four of Cups. This card often appears when someone suddenly becomes aware that something meaningful has been in front of them the whole time. Picture someone sitting quietly, looking at their life, thinking about their past choices, their experiences, the people they have met, and then one thought becomes very clear. The connection with you feels different, not forced. Not complicated, not exhausting, just different. The Four of Cups sometimes represents someone who suddenly understands the value of something they almost overlooked. And when that realization appears, it can create a strong emotional shift. The next card appearing here is the Seven of Pentacles. This card represents reflection. Someone who looking back, thinking carefully about what has already happened between two people. This person may be asking themselves questions. What did I feel when I was around them? Why do I keep remembering those moments? Why does their presence still stay in my mind? The Seven of Pentacles suggests that they are evaluating the connection very seriously. They are not treating it like a casual interaction anymore. Instead, they are beginning to see the connection as something worth investing energy into. The next card appearing here is the King of Wands. Now, this is where the energy becomes much stronger, because the King of Wands represents someone who knows what they want and eventually moves toward it. This is someone who does not stay passive forever. At some point, curiosity turns into determination. At some point, fascination turns into desire to act. The King of Wands suggests that this person may begin feeling more confident about the connection. They may start imagining what it would be like to move closer to you, to talk more, to create new memories. The next card appearing here is the Page of Cups. This card represents emotional expression beginning to form. The Page of Cups is someone who wants to say something heartfelt, but may still be figuring out the right moment. Sometimes this card appears when someone feels a growing urge to communicate their feelings. Not with dramatic declarations, but with sincerity, a message, a conversation, a moment where they allow their heart to speak honestly, because sometimes the simplest words carry the strongest meaning. The next card appearing here is the Three of Wands. This card represents anticipation, looking forward, imagining what the future might hold. This person may find themselves thinking about possibilities involving you, what it would feel like to see you again, what conversations might happen next, what the connection could become if it continued to grow. The Three of Wands suggests someone who begins seeing potential, and when someone begins imagining a future with another person, the connection becomes much more meaningful. The next card appearing here is the Ten of Pentacles. This card represents stability, long-term happiness, and meaningful connection. When the Ten of Pentacles appears in a love reading, it often shows that someone sees the possibility of something lasting, something that is not temporary, something that could become part of their life story. This person may be realizing that what they feel for you is not just attraction, it carries deeper potential. The next card appearing here is the Ace of Pentacles. This card represents opportunity, a new beginning that can grow into something stable and meaningful. Sometimes the Ace of Pentacles appears when a connection begins moving from imagination into reality. A message appears. AA meeting happens, a conversation opens the door for something new. It may begin with something simple, but that simple moment can become the start of something important. The final card appearing in this part is the Strength card. This card represents emotional courage, because sometimes admitting feelings requires bravery. Sometimes allowing yourself to care deeply about someone means accepting vulnerability. The Strength card suggests that this person may be building the courage to follow what their heart is telling them. They may be realizing that ignoring their feelings is no longer possible. And when someone reaches that point, their next step often becomes clear. They stop pretending the connection means nothing. They stop pushing their feelings away. Instead, they begin allowing the truth to exist. And the truth becoming visible here is this. Your presence has affected this person in a powerful way. Their thoughts keep returning to you. Their emotions keep growing stronger. And slowly, they may be realizing something very simple. They do not want to walk away from this connection. They do not want to lose what they feel with you. It is becoming something they can no longer ignore. Now, the energy of the reading reaches a point where something becomes very clear up until now. This person has been thinking about you, remembering moments, trying to understand their feelings. But here, the cards begin revealing something deeper. They are realizing that what they feel for you is not temporary. The first card appearing here is the Six of Wands. This card represents admiration. Recognition, when someone looks at another person and feels proud just knowing them. This person may admire you more than you realize. Your confidence, your personality, the way you move through life, something about you stands out to them. The Six of Wands often appears when someone feels drawn toward another person because they see something inspiring about them. This person may look at you and feel that you are someone special. Someone who carries a presence that is hard to ignore. The next card appearing here is the Nine of Cups. This is often called the Wish card. It represents emotional satisfaction, the feeling that something in life brings happiness and fulfillment. When this person thinks about you, they may feel that sense of emotional warmth, almost like your presence brings a kind of joy into their thoughts. The Nine of Cups suggests that imagining the connection with you may make them feel happy, comforted, excited. It may feel like something their heart genuinely wants. The next card appearing here is the High Priestess. This card represents deep intuition. It suggests that this person may feel something about you that they cannot easily explain. Sometimes people meet someone and immediately sense that there is something meaningful about the connection. Something mysterious, something powerful. The High Priestess suggests that this person may feel that your energy affects them on a deeper level, almost like there is something about you that stays in their thoughts long after the moment has passed. The next card appearing here is the Knight of Pentacles. This card moves slowly but very seriously. The Knight of Pentacles represents someone who does not take emotions lightly. They move carefully, they observe, they think about their actions. This suggests that the feelings this person has for you are not reckless. They are thoughtful, considered. The Knight of Pentacles may take time, but when they move forward, they move with sincerity. The next card appearing here is the Two of Pentacles. This card shows someone balancing their thoughts, trying to understand how to approach a situation. This person may be thinking about the connection often, trying to decide what the right moment might be, trying to understand how you feel. Because when someone begins caring deeply about another person, they often become careful with their actions. They want things to happen in the right way. The next card appearing here is the Ace of Cups. And this card changes everything because the Ace of Cups represents emotional truth, the moment when feelings become too strong to stay hidden. This person may be reaching a point where they feel ready to express what is in their heart, not necessarily with dramatic words, but with sincerity. Because sometimes the strongest emotions are expressed in simple ways. A message, a conversation, a moment where someone allows their true feelings to be seen. The next card appearing here is the Sunday. This card represents happiness, warmth, clarity. The Sunday suggests that when this person thinks about you, they feel a sense of brightness. Your presence may bring joy into their life. Something about your energy may feel refreshing, genuine, and uplifting. And when someone feels that kind of happiness connected to another person, they naturally want to keep that person close. The final card appearing in this part is the Ten of Cups. This is one of the most beautiful cards in the entire deck. It represents emotional fulfillment, shared happiness, the possibility of building something meaningful with another person. The Ten of Cups suggests that this person may be imagining a future with you, not just short moments, but something deeper, something that could grow into real emotional connection. And that is why the message of this reading continues repeating itself. Because the cards are not showing someone who is slowly losing interest, they are showing someone whose feelings are becoming stronger. Simone who keeps thinking about you, Simone who may be realizing that the connection with you carries real meaning. And slowly they may be reaching a moment where their heart tells them something very simple. They do not want to walk away from you. They want to see where this connection can lead. And that is why the message remains the same. Mark my words, this person is not going anywhere. In fact, they may be moving closer one realization at a time. So the final message coming through here is very powerful. What I'm seeing around you first is the Queen of Wands. And I love this energy because it tells me that a huge part of why this person is so fixed on you is you, your presence, your energy, your aura, the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you naturally draw people in without even trying. There is something about you that lingers, something about you that stays in their mind, something about you that they cannot quite explain, but they definitely feel you come through here as magnetic, attractive, unforgettable. And even if you do not always see yourself that way, this person absolutely does. I feel like when they think about you, they don't just think about your appearance, it goes deeper than that. They think about your vibe, your fire, your confidence, your softness, your mystery, your warmth. It's like you awaken something in them. And now they cannot unfeel it. Now, the next energy I'm seeing is the Hanged Man. So yes, there may still be a pause here. There may still be a period of silence or slowness or this feeling of suspension. But this is what Spirit really wants you to understand. This is not dead energy. This is not over energy. This is not they don't care energy. This is paused energy. This is someone sitting in their feelings, sitting in their thoughts, sitting in the weight of what this connection means and trying to process it all.